Hey all friends, welcome to the channel, Bob here, and yeah, this is another Shroud of the Avatar video. I know that when I do videos about this, people say, I don't know what you play it for, or people say, I don't know what you play it for because you just hate it. I think the issue is I don't hate it, and I log in every now and again when something new happens. But ultimately come away frustrated. And this video, I logged in again the other day anyway, but this video today is kind of part sponsored by, if you like a thread on the forums that I've kind of been reading. I think the as happens on the forums, someone who's been playing the game for quite a long time and has probably invested quite a lot of money in it will eventually say, look, this is just ridiculous. Where's the game that we were told we were going to get? And no matter who it is, generally, even if they have been in good standing, have been a supporter of the game up until that point, we'll wander around the environment here. This is the new land, Mr. Endor, so you can have a look. Yeah, even if they've been previously in good, a bit like being on Twitter, being for something, but then you might like a tweet that the rest of your clan doesn't like, or your cult doesn't like, and then suddenly you're out. That's generally how it works. I keep visiting these locations where there's an interesting tree or something, thinking that there might be something interesting there, but unfortunately there is not. Yeah, but the general overview of the thread is that, look, dance parties and whatnot are all very well, and fishing contests and all that kind of stuff, but like, what's going on with the game? There's tons of systems that need revamping or fixing. The performance is shocking. I mean, yesterday when I logged in, or not just yesterday, but previously, and it's not just on this new PC that I've got, it's on my previous PC as well, with a different video card and a different processor, is that the performance can get so bad to a point where it was actually affecting the performance of my PC. And yesterday my PC just crashed, because the game seemed to be running at about 1 frame per second, and that's happening quite often. When you log in like this now, it's fine, but quite often if I teleport myself to a zone, particularly Owl's Rest or Owl's Nest, I've noticed, or you zone into a zone, or you zone back out onto this overland map, then the performance will just tank. I'm not sure if it's some sort of memory leak issue, or the developers blame the Unity engine is it that they're using, but other games use it fine without these issues. So but yeah, performance has been an issue for a long time. People keep people keep mentioning it, not just myself, a number of people over a period of time. Yeah, but nothing gets done about it. It's just, well, we can't recreate it, so it's not a problem, and yep. Pretty sad. Yeah, but what happens on these threads generally is that the person suddenly becomes an outcast, obviously. Yeah, and then generally you get the same people with the same arguments. It's a sandbox game, blah blah blah. You have to create your own entertainment. It's almost like they're saying that. Well, someone actually did say the developers are not there to produce content for you. You should be creating your own content. And the weird thing is that the game was. I mean, I'm not a big fan of sticking to the book, but the game was not sold as that. But also the other thing is that the game was. If you go to the front page for Shroud of the Avatar, the game is still described and sold as a single or multiplayer, online role-playing game, and it talks about the rich story and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't actually mention sandbox, so while I suppose you could call this a sandbox to a certain extent, it's nowhere near a sandbox of Worm Online. So yeah, I don't hold with that argument. That's just people chucking red herrings in the way for you to slip over, as a way of defending the game, And this is a perfect example of the problem with the development of Shroud of the Avatar. This is episode 2, okay? This is episode 2. Now you've just seen me run around a fair portion And this is the first scene that I'm able to enter. So you've got all this land, basically, created. It seems to be just for new player housing. So people buy more player housing, buy more pots, buy more stuff to put in it. I mean, this would not be acceptable in a game generally. That you release an expansion for your game, and there is barely any content for you to do. I've been exploring and I've found 3 PvE scenes where you can go in and fight mobs. One of them is basically just a cut and paste from other scenes. All of the mobs, all of the content. There is another scene that does have some different mobs in, but they're just reskinned. They're just old mobs that have been reskinned, old monsters that have been reskinned, essentially. It's crazy. I don't quite understand. Well, the thought process seems to be that this is what we've got done so far. Let's put it out. And and to be fair, the game defenders seem quite happy with that. They're quite happy to use the excuse that it's a small team, they're doing what they can, blah blah blah, and that's fine. But I do think the emphasis on, when I say emphasis, I think someone on the thread said Catnip are not arranging these these dance parties or fishing tournaments or whatever, but they're still taking up time. They're still bunging stuff in the store for you to buy, that is related to this kind of thing, when there are just so many other systems that need fixing and so much. The thing is with episode 2 is that this is just more unfinished content that will just be left, for how long we don't know. I find it astonishing, and someone in the thread crazily compared it to Star Citizen, which is a completely different beast. A more realistic comparison will be Project Gorgon, that has literally been, developed by 2 people for the most part, with hardly any budget. And when you look at what they've done, when they introduce a new zone or something, they make sure that the zone is at least complete, and there's an intention behind it with regards to lore and mechanics and story, quests, puzzles, whatever it may be. Yeah, it might need fixing, but what the Catnip are doing here is they've just put this landmass in, and they've said, there you go, this is what we've done so far. Then they'll add us. I mean, about a month or so ago when I first came here, there was one scene that was literally a cut and paste from another scene. I mean, I don't understand the logic behind it. You would be better off not releasing this, from just talking about from a perspective, from a perspective of for new players. Don't release episode 2 yet. Get yourself some scenes under your belt that work. And then go from there. I mean, there is as I said, there's a zone in here that is basically a cut and paste from a scene point of view. The way it looks, it just looks like all the other zones. It's a forested area that goes around in a circle. And it does have some new mobs in, like generally animals, but they're just reskinned old animals that they've kind of made much harder. So you've got some new scenes here that are unapproachable, even from someone. I mean, I'm not the highest adventure level, but I'm reasonably high. Yeah, and what I'm finding is that they've introduced this scaling system, and I don't quite understand it. I'm not sure. When people were talking about scalable zones previously, what I was talking about, and I think other people were talking about, is that you come up to a zone and you get an option for different difficulty levels, and you can try them out and find one that suits you. What this seems to be doing, and if I'm wrong, please correct me, but what this seems to be doing is scaling it to your level, roughly. But when I went into the zone with the new creatures in, it felt like it was more aimed at a party, a group of people of my level, rather than just me on my own. So it's not scaling from a player amount perspective. It seemed to be, and there were some mobs there that I could kill, but there were some that were fairly outrageous, And the other thing as well that is just mind-boggling is that they were animals. And again, maybe I've made a mistake. I did try to work out what mistake I might be making, but like as a high-level tamer, I couldn't tame any of them. I thought to myself, "Oh look, you've got this like phase spider type thing. Looked quite interesting. I couldn't tame it." So maybe I was doing something wrong. I don't think so. My level was high enough. I wasn't I wasn't being given any error messages essentially. Yeah, but I couldn't tame them. So not only were they just cut and pasted, but given a slight skin change. This is the zone yesterday where it crashed. Where after a while, the performance just dies into a point where. The game actually crashed my computer, which is crazy. I mean, I've got a 48 thread computer with a 2080 Super, pretty mental. But if you look at the zone, I don't feel anything from it. Looking at the trees and the textures and the grass, it's all just been ported over from episode 1, And while I understand that there's only so much, there are only so many different types of rocks and stuff. Maybe just give them a different colouring, just anything, so that the zone looks a bit different. But yeah, I do feel, that. I mean, I think the game is. This is probably a term that you've heard before. Maybe generally in sport, I've heard it, where a manager of a team has come to the end, what should be the end of his tenure. And it's his end game, but the end game can go on for like some years. A team can. I know as an Arsenal fan, as much as I loved Arsene Wenger, a team will stick with a manager when it's clear that some kind of change is required. And this game feels like it's the end game, and I don't mean that this game is just going to, fold tomorrow, but certainly from a creativity standpoint, from correcting, revamping and fixing systems that are still broken after many years, producing content for an expansion that feels like it's an expansion rather than just a copy and paste of old zones. The zone with the new they're not new mob creatures because they're just remodeled. The zone with the remodeled creatures doesn't have anything to do. There's a bloke standing at the front of the zone. I'll show you it. Actually, I'll go and show you that zone. Let's go and have a look. I've come here. I don't know why I come in here. You've got this bizarre type place, but as I said, performance eventually just goes completely to the wall here, and it's not a good experience at all. You've got a guy at the front says, kill this mob and collect this and bring it back to me. I'll give you some XP. You can do it once a day. Things like scaling scenes and like daily quests are stuff that players have been asking for quite some time. But the implementation from the developers is just a disaster. I mean, and that is all there is to do in the zone. There are no quests. There's just nothing, I'll go and show you the area. It wouldn't be at all bad as a tamer who only does taming really to just find new creatures to tame, because the taming combat is just disaster. It's just horrible. It's just so boring, and I've tried lots of different skills to try and complement it, like melee, bard, like mage and stuff, but it's just boring. Oh, hello. So I've just come out of a scene that was somewhere else, and he's put me outside. So I've just come out of Lamek's Bazaar, and it's put me outside of this zone. Okay, well, I mean, at least we got here sooner than we needed to. But going back to my point, I feel that the game is at end game. all the while the developers keep putting in. I need to rebuff again, don't I? This is the guy that just takes a rune or something that you give him. Yeah, I mean, all the while that the developers are putting unfinished content in, then coming back to it when they get a chance. It does nothing for the image of the game. It's weird. I mean, I've never come across a game so lacking in like new content on YouTube either. I mean, I went on to YouTube looking for videos maybe about Spindle's Cog here. I think it's Spindle's Cog or something is how it would be pronounced, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, I went on YouTube looking for videos of the new area, the expansion with new zones, and there's nothing. There's a ton of videos created by some new Russian player that I can't understand. You've got the usual podcast thing that seems to keep going on, even though no one seems to really watch it. Why has Sting got less hit points than he did have yesterday? What's happened here? Yeah. What am I missing? Oh no, I've got the taming blessing. Okay. Well, Sting seemed to have more hit points yesterday, but I'm not sure. So this is like the new zone with the new mobs in. But as I said, the mobs are just copy and paste of old mobs. Now I quite like this zone actually, like from an atmosphere point of view. I think I've said before in the past that Shroud doesn't lack for. Oh, hello, there's one over there. No, there's one over there. No, Shroud doesn't lack for atmosphere. Yeah, but it all just looks so similar to older zones that I kind of find it so difficult getting excited or giving it a pass. It's more unfinished content, and this zone does feel unfinished, and poorly designed as well. Like mob placement is quite poor. So like I put myself in a point. I just created a quick build yesterday where I could just run around the zone and not die. So I sprinted around the zone, like around the whole way, and it's just like it seems to be just like a circular zone with these new mobs in, and like, that's about it. But the problem is that mob placement is so dense that you can't find a spot to rest without something aggroing you, and that is bad zone design. If this is an adventure zone where they expect you to work your way around, because mob spawning is quite quick as well. So if this is a zone where they expect you to move around, like as an adventure, so that you're running the zone, as it were, or the scene, or whatever you want to call it. Mob placement is such where that you never find a point where you can sit down, have a rest, chat with your friends, as you might do on a real adventure. Build a campfire. There's just the density of mobs is too high for a start, and also there's no reason for, again, like with Shroud, there's no reason for them to be here. Why are these spiders here? Why are there Kavas versions of wolves and bears? Like, what's happened here? What's the story? Why has it happened? I don't know. Just so I'm not being unfair, let's just go and talk to the NPC at the beginning. Maybe he gives me some more information. But even so, like, it's not enough. Like putting an NPC in who gives you a quest to turn a stone in once a day. The XP and the rewards are still not even worth it. It's like, what's the point? Here we go. I think that my pen was there. Runestones, advice. Okay. So these spirit warders, I haven't seen them in the zone. I don't know what they are. Tanglemire? Tanglemire. I don't know what that is. Power 1. Power 1 is what I killed to get the runestone that you give to him. Curse. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've run around the zone and I haven't seen these Spirit Warders. Maybe I've missed something. But this is the only quest that you have. Bearing in mind that this is a tier 10 adventuring area, you know, and the mobs in here are tier 11 and 12. You get 50,000 XP. You know, that will not even come close to getting you a point in anything at my level. I think you get a bit of gold. There's no quest rewards. I've killed a number of mobs. Again, let's go on to the loot. You know, a new zone, higher difficulty, scaling loot. No. These phase spiders here. I'll try and fight one. Yesterday, just because I was bored, I was trying to work out what pet performs best against them. It seems completely random. One of these phase spiders of the same tier will either. I understand that in all games like this, is an element of course, there's an element of RNG, but these Vigorum Cavus here, either they will just keep critting my pet for 1,500 to 2,000 points, or my pet seems to you can attack it if you want, you know, or my pet seems to do okay. You know, there seems to be no in between that I could find. I better just do something here. So these mobs can be no pushover. Do you know what you get? Nothing. I think what I got from one. I think what you get some corpse wax, and you get some, you know. Oh jeez. My deck's just not set up for this, unless my pet is doing stuff as well. Let's bring him over here. Yeah, so you get some. I got some corpse wax and I got a bit of gold. Oh Jesus, where did all these dudes come from? I think my pet is probably going to die, but that's fine. I'll probably die as well. Yeah, so this is one of those weird fights where I could do this fight again, and this mob. Oh, there we go. Will just keep critting my pet. You know, even though my pet is fairly high level, I spent a lot of points on it. He will just keep critting my pet for tons of your damage. Yeah, but as I say, like getting back to let's see if I can kill this. Getting back to the loot, you know, you kill these fairly tough T12 mobs, and your experience with regards to loot is terrible. Come on now, let's clear some of these off so you can see a bit of gameplay. Okay, so they'll all run back. Great. Okay, so at least, so maybe we've pulled the mob. Maybe we've pulled. No, he's run back. Okay, fair enough. Let's finish off this dude. Yes, as I was saying, like these spiders, T11 spider, you skin it, exactly the same loot as you get from a spider anywhere. Just a waste of time. I'm not asking for artifacts that destroy the world. You know, that's not what it's all about. But it's so disappointing to come into an expansion and think, well, I'll give it another go. Let's see what happens. And it's just the same old loot, same old mobs. Same old combat, same old systems that need help or revamping or just fixing. Same old performance, you know, just same old endgame. Let's try this again. And I wouldn't mind fighting through this zone, like killing these mobs, even if I have to reset, my pet dies a bit, or I die, or whatever, you know. If at least you thought there was going to be some reward, but there's just no reward for it. You know, it's pointless almost doing the zone. It's not even as though the XP is that much better. I mean, I was looking at the XP rates I was getting, and I thought, well, I don't quite understand it. Like, what? For me to hunt in this high level zone and to get any XP. Well, I'm actually going to die, I think, either me or my pet. Yeah, to get any XP, it's pointless. You know, the XP doesn't. Again, you know, which is not uncommon. You know, the rewards in the game just do not reflect the challenge. And I feel that even though, like Chris talked about it, I don't think they've done a stream actually for quite some time, or they haven't put them on YouTube anyway. But you know, they talk about rewards and stuff. But I just, again, I think that's Jesus, stupid line of sight. It's rubbish. But I do feel that it's just it's just a red herring. You know, they don't really want to put rewards in, but they keep saying that they do, just to maybe keep people interested who are waiting for that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why they're critting for so much damage on my mob. Yeah. Okay, let's run away. But then, like the next fight, the fight will go fairly well, you know, and I'll win the fight. So yeah, I do feel that the RNG is a bit weird. But anyway, that's it. Like, I've come back to Shroud to have a little look at the new areas and stuff, just to find kind of what you expect. Sadly, you know, I don't say it with any great degree of smugness or whatever. You know, I kind of want to come back and play a game where some of the systems, some of the scenes feel finished. You know, and to release an expansion and then just gradually fix it and add to it as you go along doesn't seem like a good thing. And I'm not even sure that the small team, small budget thing works anymore, because there are games out there on smaller teams and smaller budgets that are doing it okay. You know, I just think it's just the philosophy. I think it's become the culture and the philosophy of the team, and the few players left are willing to accept that. Anyway, yes. If you visited, if you visited the new zone, the new lands, episode 2, and your experiences are different to mine, please let me know and point them out, and I'll go and have a look and do another video. I do think there is one of the zones does seem to have some kind of quest thing where you have to insert these jeweled swords into something. Maybe to open something else, so I will give that a go. But you know, on the whole, I kind of stand by my comments. Yeah, that's not to say that you know, if you're playing it and enjoying it, that's great. You know, we should all play and enjoy what we like. But yeah, just more disappointment, unfortunately. Maybe I'll do a video one day of Shroud, and it won't be such. But yeah, speak to you again soon.